Black Hollow, a name that fit. Nestled deep in a valley, sunlight rarely touched its rooftops. The old church stood sentinel, its spire a crooked finger scratching at the sky. Generations had worshipped there, their faith as sturdy as the oak pews. Life moved slowly in Black Hollow. Days were for work, nights for sleep, and Sundays for prayer. The silence was broken only by the wind whistling through the valley, carrying with it the scent of pine and secrets. The townsfolk were a stoic lot, their faces weathered like the surrounding hills. They kept to themselves, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of the land. Outsiders were rare and viewed with suspicion. Black Hollow held its secrets close, whispering them on the wind. It was a place where time seemed to stand still, where the past held a firm grip on the present, and in the stillness something waited. Pastor Elias Grayson arrived on a day when the clouds hung low, mimicking the town's mood. He was a striking figure, tall and lean, with eyes that seemed to burn with an inner fire. His sermons were captivating, his voice resonating with a power that shook the rafters. He spoke of forgiveness, of redemption, of the darkness that lurked within us all. His words, though unsettling, struck a chord. The townsfolk, starved for inspiration, flocked to him. He offered solace, a light in their often dreary lives, but beneath the charisma a disquiet brood. His gaze lingered too long, his smile never quite reaching his eyes. He spoke of unity, yet there was a distance in his manner, a coldness that chilled the air around him. The whispers started, faint at first, like the rustle of dry leaves. Something wasn't right about Pastor Grayson. The nightmares began subtly, creeping into the edges of sleep like tendrils of smoke. Visions of shadowy figures chanting in an unknown tongue haunted their dreams. The faces of loved ones twisted into grotesque masks, their eyes burning with an unholy light. A sense of dread permeated their waking hours, a feeling of being watched, of something unseen lurking just beyond the veil of reality. The once peaceful nights were now filled with a palpable fear. Doors were bolted, windows shuttered tight. Children cried out in their sleep, clutching at their parents for comfort. The wind, once a comforting lullaby, now carried whispers of unease. The darkness that Pastor Grayson had warned of seemed to be seeping into their lives, tainting their very souls. Something wicked had come to Black Hollow, cloaked in the guise of salvation. The first disappearance went unnoticed for days. Old Man Hemlock, who lived alone on the outskirts of town, was easily dismissed as simply wandered. But then young Billy Thompson vanished, last seen playing near the church. Panic, like a brushfire, swept through Black Hollow. Search parties scoured the woods, their calls echoing through the silent trees, but to no avail. The missing were gone, vanished without a trace. Suspicion, like a venomous serpent, coiled around Pastor Grayson. His sermons grew more fervent, his pleas for faith more insistent. He spoke of sacrifices, of trials that tested the faithful. His words, once a source of comfort, now rang hollow, filled with a chilling undercurrent. The townsfolk, their fear turning into anger, began to question their shepherd. Where were their loved ones? What darkness had he brought into their midst? Sarah, a young woman known for her level-headedness, had always harbored doubts about Pastor Grayson. The intensity of his gaze, the strange allure of his sermons, it all felt wrong. When her younger brother Daniel became the latest victim to disappear, her fear morphed into a steely resolve. She would uncover the truth, whatever the cost. Late one night, armed with nothing but a lantern and her growing dread, Sarah crept towards the church. The heavy oak door creaked open, revealing a scene that sent chills down her spine. The church, usually a sanctuary of peace, was now a chamber of horrors. Candles flickered, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. A pentagram drawn in what appeared to be blood dominated the floor, and there, standing over a chanting circle of hooded figures, was Pastor Grayson, his eyes blazing with an unholy light. met hers through the darkness. A cold smile spread across his lips as he uttered words that sent a shiver down Sarah's spine. "The sacrifice is complete,"